Welcome! Today we're counting down our picks for the best open-world racing games that you should check out. And without further ado, let's dive right in.
Car, sure!
JDM Japanese Drift Master. Now, this one is an upcoming open-world drifting game set to release in 2025, and judging by the early gameplay, it looks kinda nice. I mean, an open-world drifting game? That's kinda new if you ask me. In this game, we could explore the beautiful world using various officially licensed cars and partake in drift races and other challenges. Oh, anyway, the dev has decided to release a prologue of this game titled JDM Rise of the Scorpion, which is free to play. So grab it while you wait for the full game.
Come on, Alice, keep up.
CarX Street. Okay, for a game that's still technically in development, this game really scratches that racing game itch, especially if you're nostalgic for the Need for Speed glory days, you know, Underground 2 and Most Wanted, which, if you know these games, you should start rethinking your goals in life. But now, don't expect a flawless experience yet. The game feels grindy, and the AI isn't the most fun, but if you keep playing and start to gain momentum, you'll start enjoying this game. So with this one, just have realistic expectations, and you'll be fine. Monster Jam Steel Titans 2. This one is currently the go-to game for people who want to play a proper monster truck game set in an open world, though it's not a true open world. And if you're just a regular guy who wants to feel like you're on top of the world, hearing that roaring monster truck engine with all the bombastic action right from your couch, this is your game. Buy it, play it, and experience one of the most fun arcade racing games of the modern era. Trust me, if you're not a hardcore player, you'll have fun with this one.
I thought this was supposed to be a friendly race.
This is us being friendly.
Need for Speed Payback. Now, I don't have to tell you that the Need for Speed franchise makes some of the best open-world racing games. In fact, the franchise is what made open-world racing as a genre more popular back in the day. And this one definitely looks stunning, and the races are fun too. And obviously, it's a racing game, so don't expect the greatest story ever. I mean, who plays racing games for the story? Anyway, if you want an open-world arcade racing game full of action, then this game is for you.
The streets are calling. They're full of tired, run-down commuters right now, but you're not part of the rat race, are you? You're racing.
OverDrift Festival. Just like Japanese Drift Master, this one is also a drifting game with a huge world. And as you can see, the visuals are stunning for a game at this level. However, outside of drifting, there isn't much to do. And not only that, not many people are playing, so be prepared to feel a bit lonely while playing. But if you crave a very smooth and fun arcade drifting experience with eye-popping visuals, then this game really delivers on those aspects. And if you're after realism, then Assetto Corsa with mods is what you need to play anyway. Fuel. Now, when people think about open-world racing, this game is at the top of most people's minds. I mean, just see it for yourself. This is like MotorStorm combined with Mad Max and Forza Horizon. And obviously, if you're after realistic physics or a racing sim, this is not the game. But if you just want some crazy, reckless fun after a long day at work, then this one will deliver exactly what you need. However, the game is already delisted on Steam, so you'll need to use an unconventional method to get it. Need for Speed. First things first, look at the graphics. God damn, it's so beautiful and realistic, especially when it's raining. There's no denying that in that aspect. And if you loved the Underground series for its street racing elements, then you'll love this one too. It's basically the closest we get to Underground 3. However, you should know that the game is online only, just like many other modern games. Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. So get this one only if it's on sale, or if you have a subscription to EA Play. The Crew 2. This is the game that made the Crew series more mainstream due to its huge open world and the ability to drive various types of vehicles, including cars, bikes, boats, and even planes. Yes, maybe people forgot about it, but there are boats and planes in this game. Anyway, this is a Ubisoft game, so although the open world is great, it's so grindy. So if you're not the type to enjoy grinding in video games, the experience might be less fun for you. But if you love this kind of game, it'll suit you perfectly. Dakar Desert Rally. This game is definitely not your typical stage rally experience. It's not a true open-world racing game either, since it's divided into a few large maps, but the races themselves feel open-world due to the nature of the Dakar Rally itself, where you must forge your own path. Moreover, the simulation is in the navigation and orientation aspect, not the driving or riding physics, so definitely don't complain about the physics, because that's not what the game is about. Oh, and here, understanding the roadbooks is crucial, so start learning how to read them.
Traces. Palm trees on the right.
TT Isle of Man, Ride on the Edge 3. Now, this one is a hidden gem because not many people even know this franchise exists. I mean, yeah, if you're into motorcycle games, chances are you're already familiar with it. But for the rest of you, I bet you didn't even know this series existed. Anyway, this series focuses on the infamous Isle of Man Tourist Trophy Racing event, one of the most dangerous racing events in the world. Scary, huh? And unlike the previous game, the free roam mode in this one is connected to the career, so you'll find activities and challenges to do.
Let's see what you're worth. Take me to the club. Solar Crown awaits us.
Test Drive Unlimited 2. The Test Drive Unlimited series is one of the most famous when it comes to open-world racing, and this one is visually better than the first game, although by today's standards it's not special. I know, I sometimes still think it's 2011 right now. Anyway, the driving is more arcade-like with this one compared to the first game, but it's still an overall better game in my opinion due to the improved graphics and the depiction of Oahu and Ibiza, which are nice to look at. And this game is now abandonware, so definitely check this one out. Need for Speed Heat. Now, with this one, the visuals aren't as realistic as the 2015 game, but it's more vibrant and colorful, especially at night. So, if that's your taste, you'll like this game. And as for the story, well, it's not much. Your character feels more like a sidekick than the star of the show, and honestly, we're not really here for some deep narrative in a racing game anyway. But overall, this is a fun game if you love the series. The customization is great, the tuning is fun, the map is decent, and there's nothing to complain about with that. Lego 2K Drive. With this game, it's a hit or miss. If you really don't care about playing a cartoony racing game designed for kids, then you'll enjoy this one. But if you're a self-proclaimed Sigma male who needs to play some hardcore sim to feel manly, then obviously skip this one. Anyway, as you can see, this is basically the Crew games with cartoony visuals and fun arcade-like driving. You can also switch your vehicles instantly to various types, even boats and planes. And since this is a Lego game, you'd better tap into your creativity to enjoy it. the Crew Motorfest. Now, this is the latest The Crew game, and in my opinion, it has the best graphics, and just like the previous game, boats and planes are back, although they're not the most popular aspect of the game. There are also playlists in this game, which are basically handcrafted race events that are fun if you love games with objectives. Anyway, this game will only appeal to certain players. If you love structured, fun, but somewhat repetitive content, you'll probably enjoy it. Basically, this is your typical Ubisoft open-world game with tons of objectives and missions.
Speed record breaker, the Mercedes record wagon.
I'll find this punk if it's the last thing I do out here today.
Need for Speed Unbound. This one is currently the latest and hottest Need for Speed game, and I think it has the most unique visuals due to its visual effects and character designs, but the rest of the game is enjoyable too, in my opinion. But what about the hate for this game? Well, with Need for Speed games, there's a pattern, you see. Here's how it goes. The latest installment will be hated, but as soon as a new game comes up, it will suddenly be called underrated, while the new game gets hated on. It's weird, I know, but it's true.
Dispatch, we're pursuing suspects. It's that one, please.
Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. Now, if you're expecting a remake of the original Most Wanted, you might be disappointed with this one. But don't get me wrong, this game is great, especially with the car mechanics and the stunning visuals. It's just more like a Burnout game than a Need for Speed game. And if you played Burnout Paradise, you'll find some familiarity in this one. However, I don't mind this game offering a different experience compared to the others in the franchise, and neither should you. In the end, if you like it, then play it. Don't listen to the basement dwellers.
Advise of suspect details. I'm updating MDC with pursuit status.
Test Drive Unlimited. No, this one is not the latest game, which is an absolute mess. This one is the OG Test Drive Unlimited, which was released in 2006. It was a great game that made the series famous for its open-world gameplay. And physics-wise, this one feels more realistic and better compared to the second game. But yeah, the graphics aren't the nicest for today's standard. So if you can tolerate some old-school graphics, give this one a try. And the good news is, it's now an abandonware, so you can mess around with it at no cost. Need for Speed Rivals. This game feels like a sequel to Hot Pursuit, but with the addition of an open-world map. The core gameplay isn't much different either. You're either racing or playing as a cop trying to catch racers. But the big addition is that you can now upgrade your cars and select pursuit tech like boosts, spike traps, or EMPs, which makes both sides dangerous. However, the customization is kinda lacking in this one, so just keep that in mind. All things considered, if you come in with the right expectations, this is definitely a great game. Need for Speed Underground 2. Now, if you're a 90s kid like me, chances are you played this game back in its heyday if you were into racing games. I mean, this game was the shit back then. Everyone who was into racing games was playing this game non-stop. First off, it was the first Need for Speed game with an open-world setting. Not only that, but the game was super addictive, especially when you were trying to win races to upgrade or customize your cars while jamming to those banger soundtracks. And now, with some mods, you could make the experience even better.
I play Mia in Need for Speed Most Wanted. Make sure you do all your racing in the game. On the
Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005. 1 year after Underground 2 was released, we got this game, which is similar to Underground 2, but now it's set in the daytime and the streets are filled with cops. But overall, people who enjoyed Underground 2 also enjoyed this one. However, the customization is a bit simpler, though the variety of cars is wider. But you know what? The biggest selling point of this game is the police chases themselves. I mean, it's really fun being chased by multiple cops and trying to escape in a fast car. Makes you feel like an action movie star, you know? Midnight Club, Los Angeles. Now, this game was famous back then for its atmosphere, customization, and soundtrack, which says a lot about Rockstar Games' reputation. And if you've lived in LA, been to LA, or are just curious about what it's like, then this game is your perfect choice since it captures the city vibe so well. Not only that, not many games let you race through heavy traffic in an open-world setting like this one. However, the game was never ported to PC, but luckily it's available on modern Xbox consoles, so definitely check it out if you can. Burnout Paradise Remastered. This game was the last full-blown Burnout title ever released, which is a shame, especially since Burnout was one of the most legendary racing game franchises, especially if you played the first few games. So, basically, this is the only open-world Burnout game, and it's a blast, especially if you don't care about realism and just want to do insane stunts without any learning curve. Oh, and there are bikes too, just so you know. Anyway, the remaster is available for all modern consoles including the Switch, so if you're feeling nostalgic, definitely grab this remaster. Night Runners, PROLOGUE. Now, this one is a newly released free-to-play indie game that takes you deep into the underground scene of Japanese street racing set between 1990 and 2009. In this hidden gem, you'll join local street racing crews and fight for control over territories and establish dominance. And just like many street racing games, you'll engage in high-stakes wager races, face off against rival crews, and customize your cars. And as you can see, the game is very similar to the beloved Underground games. So definitely check this one out if you're a fan. Forza Horizon 4. I get that Forza Horizon 5 is now the go-to open-world racing game, but that doesn't mean Forza Horizon 4 is outdated. In fact, the player base for this one is even bigger than its successor, at least according to Steam. And honestly, you can't really compare the two since both have their strong points, especially when it comes to the open world. This one has a better map, especially with its dynamic seasons. And for some people, the map is more important than the cars. So, if you're that type of player, definitely go for this one. Forza Horizon 5. Now, this game is currently the top choice for anyone looking for a fun arcade racing and free roam experience. And just like its predecessors, the graphics are stunning, and there's a huge variety of cars. And while the focus is mainly on sports and supercars, it doesn't neglect other types of vehicles. As we can see, the large selection of cars is definitely one of the main selling points here. So, if you're not a hardcore racing sim enthusiast and you don't mind playing a more straightforward fun arcade racer, definitely pick this one up. So do you agree with our picks? Check out these other videos from us and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.